I need to look at what I sent you. I ain't got to keep searching for it.
You sent me some questions.
No, I sent you the plans,
The plan. Oh, yeah.
originals, and the updated version, which is a video. But this is this is a breaking down or updated version rather of some add-ons too, some things that need to take place that we found out after the originals. So I'm always updating. All right, switch on or off here.
Oh. Yeah. Thanks for you to see this thing.
Yeah, turn sideways.
Hello, everybody. I want to say good afternoon. It's wonderful to be here today. I tell you, this is the Henderson Real News Show, the only show that you will hear people say that is different with the idea that we always talk about organizing and not criticizing. We find that if you have a show called Organize, Don't Criticize, somebody might listen one day and say, well, I'm just going to stop criticizing others, do something for myself for a change, and then I'll be all right. And that's what we're going to do today. I have a guest here today, and the guest is Dr. Pertis Williams, a man that is a political consultant. He has a lot of skills in technology, and he is a community specialist with programs that's already published. We're going to talk about that today. And of course, we're going to get his analysis on the mayor race. He's going to talk about anything he wants to talk about. I'm not like the dictators. I have the idea that one ought to say whatever he wants to say. And if the FCC doesn't like it, he will have to deal with it, or they will have to deal with it. But that's not important. What's important today is that we are giving you another hour of information. We always believe that if you want to change your life, your status, you can do something in 30, 60, or 90 days, and that is to provide an action plan for self, family, and your community, put it in a timeline, and say every 30 days I'm going to do the following. Every 60 days I'm going to do the following. Every 90 days I'm going to do the rest of the things in this plan, and I will be successful. That's what it's all about, people. Many people that I know are always saying things, and they don't do anything because they are blaming others for their situation. And usually, when you don't reach your goals in life, or you end up in a situation where you can't do anything other than what others want you to do, it's your fault. Believe that, ladies and gentlemen. Your destiny is determined by what you do and don't do. And I don't care, even if you are mentally challenged, you'll be surprised how many of those people out there working every day. Even if you're homeless, if your situation is not good, you can change that. Even if you're broke, ladies and gentlemen, no money, nothing invested, living with a relative, you still have no problem other than to get up, make some changes, and start off where you are with what you have and do something in an incremental plan and be successful. Now let's look at something that is successful. An underwriter, we have an underwriter here called PCAP Media Group, and those folks are out there all the time, all over Mississippi, day and night, talking about things, sending things through email, doing Zoom and other ways of communication with people that need a living will and a trust and what we call the power of attorney. And we know, folks, that all of you that's listening today, when I say all, I mean all, A-L-L, 100% of you will fall in one category or the other when we're talking about a will. A will is set up to leave your assets to the persons you want it to be left to. Friends, family, relatives, your animals, profit business organizations, and so forth. You need a living will, and you need a last will and testament. And of course, folks, you need to have your investments already put in chronological order so you can have everything set up so your people won't have to suffer too much and waste a lot of time on an attorney trying to get what you say they can have. So you need to call PCAP Media Group. They'll come around and talk to you about this, to your home, your school, your community, or your church, especially the churches, because 100% of you either don't have a will or you have one and you haven't seen it in years and it needs to be changed. And this is the official breakdown. 87% of my listeners don't even have a will, and the 13% that do, and you have heard me say this over the years, don't know where it is, and if they look at it, if they accidentally find it, they'll find that their executor is either dead, sick, or moved, or outside of the family, and they don't even communicate. So folks, create a will, or find the one you have and update it, and make sure you do this every 6 months. If you're over 60 years of age and you have a will, you ought to look at it every 6 months, whether you want to or not, and make adjustments. Call those folks, PCAP Media, 601-201-1957, and say, I need to get with you all. I need my will. I need to learn how to write grants. I need to start trying to get that $600 billion that's available from local, state, and federal government entities, corporations, foundations, nothing but money out there for businesses, folks, especially nonprofit businesses. And if you need a keynote speaker on education, religious, politics, economic development, and investments for your schools, businesses, churches, you still need to call PCAP Media, 601-201-1957, and they will help you change your life in 30, 60 days. Now listen, we also have another underwriter called Action Leadership Institute, and those folks work with PCAP Media all the time on a daily basis, but they are sponsoring the new book. Action Leadership Institute has a new book called Organize, Don't Criticize, and this book is very simple. I tell you, and been telling you for about 3 months now, Organize, Don't Criticize is a cross between the Bible and the Constitution, the Mississippi Constitution and the United States Constitution. It tells you exactly what your problems are, and it shows you and tells you in print how you can resolve those problems. And then you will find, if you read this book, it'll talk about the benefits of the corrective actions that you made. And then the last thing is call to action, which will say if you do these things continuously, you and your family will have prosperity for at least 300 years. Folks, I tell you, Organize, Don't Criticize can be found through Amazon. All you have to do is call Amazon, get on a computer, do what you want to do. And the book is economically conservative. The price is only $9.99. You know, we don't believe in charging $10 for nothing. $9.99. You want a Kindle book, same title, Organize, Don't Criticize, that's $7.99. But we have a special for individuals that are associated with churches, schools, community organizations, big families. You get a bundle of 10 for $99.90. Folks, you can't beat this even if you were in a situation where you're getting $100,000 a year. You read this book, you'll be making $300,000 and $400,000 a year. And of course, go to the website, www.alieh.org. Give it to you again, www.alieh.org. Now we know you didn't get all that information, but you're going to get it later because we're going to talk to you and have you calling us. And we're going to hit some topics this evening that people have been wearing out for the last 30 days, talking about the local politics in Jackson, Mississippi, in the state of Mississippi. We're going to address some national issues. and let you know what's going on there and what you need to do. And of course, we're going to talk about something that don't want to be addressed in any serious manner. We're going to talk about, if we get a chance, some of the ways one can curtail rural inner city and urban violence in America, in American cities. We are experts on this, and that's why I have this expert to talk about it. So, Mr. Williams?
Yes, sir.
Dr. Pertis Williams, I want to tell you, it's good for you to be with us today. I know you're busy, but you know when you are busy, you always go where you need to go. That's what busy people do. Those that are not busy, that are lazy, say, I can't do it, and they stay at home and sleep.
Well, hey, now,
tell
I
us
ain't
about
got nothing
yourself.
against staying home and sleeping.
But let's talk
God
about
gives
the-
rest to his beloved.
Oh, really? And you're saying now that
That's
you are
actually-
one of the beloved, sir?
Hey, man, I get a lot of rest.
Okay.
God
Well,
beloves me.
let's talk about some things here. Now, I want you to know for sure that since you're a political consultant, we've talked a little bit about the Jackson, Mississippi mayor race and city council. And I want you to give our listeners just a short summary of what you think about the number of people that are running, the composition of the parties involved, and then I want you to do something at the end of the program, not to do in the beginning part, that a little strong for you, since you are a radical type thinker from time to time. We want you to tell the folks who would be, from your records and research, Doc, you're a great researcher, who would be the best candidate. I didn't say the top 3 or 4. You're not concerned about the top 3 or 4. You're concerned about one person. That's who's going to win. One person. So folks need to know who is the best candidate according to that qualification. Take it off and ask it.
Well, I'm gonna
address
have to
it
say,
as you choose.
I'm gonna say that you remember the November elections, and I had a chance to kind of participate in a recount, as well as some campaigning for a couple of the candidates. Got to know them.
Local candidates?
Local candidates.
Let's talk about all of that.
You remember Ward 2 had a special election, and that is the one I actually had an opportunity to watch the count.
Let's talk about it.
Talking about it is very disappointing to me. What I saw made me feel like Jackson needs some oversight in their election process. That's what I felt.
Wait a minute now, Mr. Dr. Williams. You know those,
Wait a gang
I know,
of minutes.
listen, let me tell you something. I know those election commissions. All
Okay.
of them are highly educated. Many of them have alleged they have experience. Some have
Okay.
been election commission off and on for 15 or 20 years.
Okay.
Now go on and talk to the folks, since I told you they have qualifications.
Okay.
And let's see what you have that I don't know about.
Well, see, you can say they qualified and they've been there for 15, 16, 20 years. You can say that all day. However, when I had a conversation with a few of them, they didn't understand how electoral college works. So our ability to do a good job has to have education or knowledge of what we're doing behind us. See, we're out here fighting and arguing with each other and getting more and more divided, and we don't even understand how the process works. So that was very disappointing to me to see that taking place. And I would say that Jackson needs to bring in, or not Jackson, the federal government needs to bring in some oversight for Jackson elections. That's my stance on what Jackson needs to do. As far as looking at the candidates as a whole, after watching the Ward 2 situation, that special election, and then participating in the November election and watching the results just kind of go how they felt they should go, rather than to the candidate who is currently winning, forcing them into a runoff, which is now going to court. And I believe it's going to be March 31st. We're going to be in court for Bridget Morgan, that race for the judge seat, and I want to say District 2, county seat, her and Yemen King. So after watching all of that in November and having to really just process what I saw and what nobody told me, this is what I saw.
Now, Dr. Williams, I don't like to go and beat around the bush.
I got a feeling.
What did you see?
I saw the most unorganized, most important process I've ever seen. For an election to be important, for our votes to be important, for the candidate who the people choose to be selected, I didn't feel like this was secure. I've seen more security at a bingo hall than I saw maintaining and monitoring those votes.
Specific. Be specific.
I can be specific. I have a video that is online. I keep reposting it, where I'm watching the person take the already counted ballots and stacking them up in front of the person who's counting the ballots. So it's almost like a foot across from where I'm counting the ballots. I'm taking them and putting them in the machine, and that person is right here in front of me stacking them up, the already counted ballots. And then I see them put them down. And some of the things you can't see on camera because some of the other persons in the room appear to me to be positioning themselves in front of my camera. And that's another thing that you can see on that video is, why are you positioning yourself in front of my camera? You know I'm recording this.
You don't think it was an accident?
No, I don't
show
think
of disrespect?
I'm going to say this. One of the reasons I left Mississippi a long time ago is because I felt like this, what we don't understand in Mississippi is Mississippi's population is about the size of some cities. The whole state. You have a state size, but you got a city population. And what I realized a long time ago is most of the people in a certain area like Jackson, plumbers know each other, right? DJs know each other. Newscasters know each other. Politicians know each other. And the wealthy in the city know each other too. And so when you're looking at a small city like Jackson, if you don't think these people know each other, then there's something wrong with you.
Which means?
Which means the most important thing for Jackson is to find somebody not affiliated with the old ways. If you want some change and something new, you need somebody new. Somebody who doesn't have so many connections already. Because if I'm rich and I got a lot of connections, guess who's finna get the money when I get in the office?
Who?
My connections. That's who. Now, I would rather have somebody who doesn't have all these elbows to rub and friends already in the bank and these high donors. Because I've had somebody call in one of the radio stations one of the other times we were here, and they made a good point. They said that, who do you think the politician is going to take care of first? Their big donor. So us $5 people, $10, $20 you sending in for a donation, just stop sending it. Because they don't care about you.
You believe that, sir?
Yes, I do believe that, Doc.
Well,
I'm looking at my city and I believe that. I see that Fondren, for some reason, since I was, graduated class of 91 at Jim Hill, Fondren looks beautiful. But the rest of my city has been turned into a train track city.
Well, now
from Tougaloo to McDowell Road.
All right.
The east side is nice and the west side is not.
Well, now let's see if we can find out why Fondren then is looking better than the other city parts. Now you say it appears to be.
It appears.
So what happened? What happened?
Well, you tell me, Doc. I've been gone for a long time. All I know is when I came back, construction and new buildings. They had a First Thursday going on. People walking around in the streets. It was almost like a small part of Atlanta. I think they call it Little Five Points. It reminded me of, where we're out just kind of hanging out in the beautiful days, enjoying yourself, and it's no violence, nothing crazy. And that's what it reminded me of. But now when I'm looking at the west side of those train tracks, nothing has been done. If anything, it has gone down.
Well, don't you have the same politicians that's supposed to represent the whole city?
Well, again, we keep looking at the city as it's... And another thing, that's one of the things I want to discuss with you. I'm so tired of hearing this black and white fight. When I was a young kid in elementary, I had hoped by the time I was a grown man, all you racists, not you personally, but all these racists would be dead.
That's not going to happen, sir.
It doesn't appear to be the case. Racism lives a long time. These jokers done got old on me. They still alive. They still around. So Generation X, my generation, we really had a different view of the world. We were the MTV generation. We were both sides of the fence, as you like to say, the music wise. We were going to school with different varieties of people. I don't think it was until I got into my late 30s when I started to notice Generation X started to go the same way of their parents. Back to that black, everything black. That's when I started to notice it happening. We went from the we are the world to now it's take care of black. And let's just be honest.
Let's be honest then.
How has that gotten us with this black?
Well, let me tell you the fact about it.
What does the city look like so black?
Research shows that if you are going to discriminate just for yourself and you don't have anything to discriminate with and other people hear you talking about that, they decide, well, since certain people are not with me, I'm going to use his or their resources and build my area up and exclude them. Wouldn't that be a good human analysis?
Well, if you have those people who are caring more about their pockets than they do their own city, let's just be honest. These people care more about their pockets than they do the people in the city.
What would we be talking about?
I'm talking about the politicians you've had in office since I was in elementary school. When we decided that we needed to get our power, we needed to be represented, and the white man was doing us so wrong and all that. Well, we put black people in office, and the city went down because the black people didn't have any plans. They just wanted to be in power.
Wait a minute now, Dr. Williams, if that's
well, you tell me what the plans were, Doc.
If that's the case, maybe you might be right, because some people are saying currently it appears they don't have any plans. That's why you have about 20 people you had 22 running for the mayor position alone. Yeah. Now, do you think they have any plans?
Well, that's why I called you and was like, thank you for inviting me back to the show, because after the November election, I said I'm not going to deal with this anymore. I'm going to step away from the politics because it's frustrating to know they're dishonest and the people keep voting them back in. So for me, it was a waste of time, and I didn't want to get involved. However, when I kind of glanced across to see, it kept coming in my feed, so I paid attention to the mayoral debates. I don't even know if it was a debate or a speech, but I kept hearing my plans.
What about your plan? What are they taking from you?
I gave the plans to the online community. I put it up there for Mississippi, but it's just strange to me that since 2021, no one has mentioned anything in my plans. They've been online since 2021. And I've emailed them to local officials. I've talked to some of the business owners in Jackson. Nobody wanted, it's a whole lot. It take a whole lot to do that. That's all I heard. This is going to require a lot of money. That's all I heard. 2025, when I'm listening to the candidates, now mental health is a big deal. Now we need to do something with these kids and hold the parents together. Now we want to raise the wages for the police officers and first responders. Now we want to worry about our elders and technology. Now we want to do it. Well, that was in the plans since 2021.
Wait now, you almost said something that you didn't complete. You were saying messing with the children, the kids, and the parents ought to be what?
Held accountable.
Explain what you're talking about.
What I mean is these children did not ask to be born. None of them. Whether it is a mother wanting to be the single parent or the father who wants his visiting rights, those children deserve both parents present, whether it is in the house or custody shared. I don't care how the parents feel. Those kids didn't ask you to have them. So you owe them both parents. So one of the things I was discussing with someone recently, and we always talking about how the man, this man, that man is this. He need to get his stuff together. Guess what? They purposely lowered the wages in men's jobs, hard working jobs, street construction, and they start paying men more for typing skills. So what do you think that did to the working man? His wages coming down, but the typing man, his wages are going up.
You think it's changing the psychic of the male?
It definitely did. We are men who build stuff, doing construction, playing football, fall down, get up, dust it off, and laugh. Now we got a generation or two, maybe three of men who don't know how to change a tire, Doc. We got men out here who don't know how to paint. We got men out here who can't measure a piece of wood and cut it. You got to call somebody to change your wife's brakes, when that's something we were taught growing up. See, I can go out here and break that car down. You give me a YouTube video and we in the mix. I can go in here and paint. I can do construction work. I can mix up some concrete and pour a sidewalk. But the thing about it is, that's what men do. We handle those jobs. But we started to train our students, and we started to push them towards typing. Learn that computer. Do you remember them years?
I remember those.
Learn that computer. That's where your money gonna be. And that is almost opposite of what a man's nature is. Being in an office, in a cubicle all day long, is almost driving men crazy, and I don't think we know it. We didn't turn a whole gang of men into boys.
Now, what you going to do about it then? You think they need to change the trades or vocational programs or combination or what?
Well, with AI coming in and everybody starting to lose their jobs anyway, all those typing jobs are going away. All your computer skills are not necessary, so you can write code all you want to. Guess what? AI can write code better. So what I did with those plans, and the people who are actually reading those plans, maybe they do see what I put in them. It's not so much of a current situation, but it's a future situation those plans are dealing with. Those plans are to combat the losses of the jobs from AI. So when AI takes your job and you can't go in and write code anymore, you're not an engineer, you're not a software engineer anymore, AI is. That computer is building its own programs, and eventually they're going to be building their own robots. So it's not going to be any human hands touching any of that. So what my plans did was open up a little bit of our past to bring it to the future, so that these men can get back to work and the women can get back to what I think their nature deserves.
What is that?
That's the nurturer. Our children used to learn their family history from mom. Mom did the planning for the family reunions. She stayed in touch with all the relatives. She organized the family Sunday dinners with grandmama house. And if she did work, it was just kind of to get out the house for a little while, make her, make some extra money. But it was really kind of taking a break, away from the family, which everyone needs. Leaving with the dad for a little while, mom go off and work a couple of hours, but not something you have to do in order to pay bills.
Well, Doc, let me tell you, those days are gone for the next 150 years.
I'm going to say they about to come back, Doc.
Well, you tell me how and when.
I'm telling you.
To know that.
They coming back because women are starting to see they don't want to work 40 hours, 60 hours a week. A lot of women, that's not what they want to do. And they see these kids are failing. They see the children right now with the No Child Left Behind, George W. Bush standard, these children can't even read.
So you said that they're about to come back.
Yeah.
Share with us how you see it coming back.
Once we have AI fully integrated into the system, how many jobs that the women currently have are going to still be needed?
Well, I agree with that. I'm saying,
so
how is it coming back though?
So when we start to eliminate a lot of those jobs, we're going to have to turn back to love. See, love is where we're supposed to be in the first place. The system separated us and told women they didn't need men. They didn't need men for protection. They got money. You can call the police. Well, all of this is starting to kind of look crazy to them now because their kids, our younger children, are the problem.
Okay, so now it's going to force us to turn back to love, right?
Got to turn back to love.
Now that we're back loving, and we got some loving going on if we agree now.
Yeah, we got some.
We got a syphilis epidemic.
That ain't love.
Okay, all right.
That ain't love.
Share with me real quick. I'm 63 years old. What do love look like?
Love look like we need to start telling them kids early the effects of that syphilis that they getting out here.
Okay.
See, we don't have a dedicated group of adults anymore that are responsible. We, for some reason, and I know everybody don't, nobody, like, you don't want to criticize people. That's one of the things you and I disagree on. We don't want to criticize people and tell somebody to pull your pants up, that skirt's too short.
You're talking about document.
No, I'm talking about society in general.
Criticize.
We don't want to tell people you overweight no more.
No.
We don't want to tell people you need to take a bath, you smell fun. We don't want to criticize people because it hurts their feelings.
Okay.
Well, guess what? Not hurting people's feelings got these kids out here shooting instead of using your fist.
All right, let's go back to love because I want to make sure I don't miss that now. Because if love is somehow getting ready to come back,
it's got to.
Okay, but then when it do, if it's going to benefit moving the African American community forward, I don't only want to see it come back. I want to help promote it. Well, so explain to me now, real quick, because I want to shift the conversation. Just okay. Explain to me, what do we need to do today? Tomorrow is Friday. We want to do a weekend of love, promoting love. What do that look like?
A weekend of promoting love?
Well, I'm just saying that because
I would say we're in a radio station right now. The first thing we can do is shift to love music.
Okay.
Instead of us playing the blues. I know a lot of people like the blues in Mississippi.
All right.
The blues is some of the most depressing, and some of it is now becoming raunchy as the rap music.
I can agree with that.
So let's pull out the Luther Vandross. Let's pull out the Jagged Edge. Let's pull out the Lionel Richie.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my dude.
I'm agreeing with that.
Let's bring out the Alexander O'Neal. Let's reprogram our minds with the right music. That's what we can start with. Okay. Because that music, the songs that you sing, they vibrate through the world. And they change your reality.
Ms. Sweet, let me ask you this, because I'm familiar with our facility. We had some people visit it today. I don't know if you know about it, but it's located on I-55 South, and it's a training facility, actually. And this young lady has the ability to train people in nursing, CPR, Safe Serve, CDL driving. You want to catch that, Doctor?
You got to catch it. Go ahead, caller.
I wanted to make a comment on the topic.
Go ahead.
You spoke on let's start on the radio station with the songs of love. There was one that came to mind, and I am also a Jim Hill High School graduate class of '92.
Congratulations.
Whitney Houston. I believe the children are the future.
Yes, amen.
Teach them well and let them lead the way. So that's another song. So you're heading in the right direction when you speak of the song that says, let's show them love. There are so many songs.
It is. And we had them growing up. For some reason, they're gone now. And just like she said, I believe the children are the future. Let's
get this, Mr. Wheaton. Let's get this up.
Okay, go ahead, caller.
Turn your radio down. Yes. No, ho. Turn your radio down.
Call back and make your radio silent, please. Thank you.
But that's one of the other reasons why I say that our mentors, like Dr. Henderson, are mentors. And we need to start looking at our leadership right now in Washington.
Okay, we had this caller back. Go ahead, caller.
Okay, hey, Doc, how you doing today?
I'm doing great.
That's great. Listen, I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with Mr. Williams there about the blues. The blues is the history, is the root from where all music basically comes from. So you can't criticize the blues because the blues is about the ups and the downs, especially of the black people in this nation. And it has a story. A story, if you can get off into it. Just like we have other races promoting country and western, then what's wrong with black people promoting the blues? Because that's our history.
Yeah.
It tells the story. Don't take us away from where we come from.
I was speaking more about that.
No, I got this one. I have this
I-
one.
I'm talking about the raunchy blues.
Okay, let me tell you something, now, caller. You have a great idea, but let me tell you what you just said. You know, Dr. Williams talked about that blues. Now, you know the so-called European Americans, the Southern European Americans, didn't want to use the blues. They call their blues country and western. That's the same thing, so they copy those songs directly, in most cases, and paraphrased here and there, the same topics, the same tone, talking about the same people as the blues. So there's nothing new. They just change things. And that's why you don't have to worry about anything being done that's new in America, in the world. There's nothing new coming. You have to make adjustments and do the things that's going to be best for the majority of the people. And those things are education and training, hard work, family development, discipline in the home, two-parent home, and making people study hard so they can get a job that's going to give them a minimum wage and at least make that mandatory. We have these people running all over the world, individualizing themselves, and not being collective in their associations, not pooling their resources, and all they're doing is digging a grave that's going to have them in a mental institution, as Dr. Williams said earlier, and the politicians are going to be glad because you're going to have fewer and fewer people voting, and the same people are going to get in office and don't have to do a thing, and I've been telling you this for many years, until 6 months before the election. The next election. Go ahead, Doc.
And something else you just reminded me of, if we look at how society has transformed a man into a typer, office worker, and not a builder of a country. You know, we building roads and bridges and boats and houses. Those men will get up and march and fight those housing construction guys. They get up and fight. Men who type at the desk all day, they not out here finna march and stand up for nothing. Okay. They too scared to break a nail. The men who are out here now, we've tried to train all of our young people to be typists, to be computer workers, trying to push them into technology. And now technology has thrown a monkey wrench into the game because AI does everything you used to do.
Explain to our listeners. Most of them know exactly what AI is, but there's probably about a few of them don't. Explain what that means.
It's artificial intelligence. So when you call, say, a company, now you're talking to a computer for about 5 minutes, trying to get a real person. Eventually, right now, they're training those computers to talk to you more personal and basically trying to get them to handle all your problems, which I think is a serious problem if we love our elders. If we love our elders and we're all going to be an elder one day, I think we need to go back to a real person on that phone.
Well, let me cut you off here and tell you right now, it appears that don't nobody love the real elders. I noticed just a few days ago, they were talking about messing around with Social Security.
Right.
They won't clean it up. Now, it might be what I call a need for a fact check. But I heard someone say the Social Security system is messed up. They're paying people that's 200 years old, a few of them 300 years old, and millions of them 130 and 40. Now, if that's true, which I know is probably a little paraphrasing,
it's probably a little sugar-coated on that.
But if that's the case, you're not going to have any love because the people that are promoting this, sir, or the group that you're talking about is in there typing and playing around and not checking their work and making sure there's no changes in the records.
Well, when you don't have any real men to stand up, and the only thing you have is those typing guys, what you're going to have is everybody's now protesting from their phone. This is where you protested from your phone. Let me send some angry tweets, some angry messages on Facebook. That's my protest. And when Congress sees it, they laugh. And then they go in there and they vote against you. Now, you can sit here and say the government is supposed to be ran by the people. We tell the politician what they're supposed to do. When was the last time that happened? When we told a politician what to do and they actually went and did it.
Well, it has not happened any time in the last 150 years because they don't have to do anything other than what they want to do and what the capitalists tell them to do through their financial contribution.
And that's the thing. What we have failed to understand is capitalism is really a secret way of saying slavery. So let me explain. Capitalism is a secret way of saying slavery. So say us three gentlemen own the only tire companies in America. Me, you, I can't remember.
And Brother Jones.
Brother Jones. We own the only the tire companies. And I say, I'm going to sell my tires for $39.95. And then Dr. Henderson, you call me and say, no, don't do that. I'm selling mine for $79.95. And Brother Jones is selling his for $89. If you sell them for $39, you're going to put us out of business. So can you raise yours up to $69? And then I'll be $79, he's $99.
I had to step out of the room. I missed that. Did y'all resolve the blues issue?
Yeah, well, I resolved.
You got it down?
Yeah.
But let me say this, because time is...
We're going to control the price, and we're friends, right?
As African-American people, all right? And we got the conversation going on about the boycott. And I don't have a particular issue about that, and I believe, but what I believe...
What boycott?
Well,
they ain't even heard about it?
He heard about it. He just want to know. I'm not going to get into it because I'm not going to waste these few minutes.
Yeah.
Boycott, you're going to come together, and you're going to boycott different stores that people own, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you won't come together and build your own store.
That's my whole
hold on, let me
I
roll
agree
it out.
with that now.
You here in Jackson, Mississippi, businesses is closing and getting out like the city is on fire.
Right.
I have not seen not one group of African American people decided to come together and say, we're gonna have a conversation and this store sell X, Y, and Z. So when they leave, we're gonna take this old abandoned building, clean it out, run the rats out, and be open from 9 to 5. Now, in South Jackson, Cooper Road, is a gold mine. You can open up a business in the Candlestick Park, mainly a restaurant, Dr. Henderson. You got enough churches within half a mile of Cooper Road to open a restaurant up, and on Sunday evening, it should sell out.
Should.
So at the end of the day, we are in an environment that people done died to give us the right to go out and vote. And you hear the conversation on the front end about voter suppression. Do you believe voter suppression exists, Dr. Henderson?
Yes, it exists.
Okay, so voter suppression would make registered voters, people that's registered to vote, voter suppression would make them not go cast their vote.
Let me tell you something.
I'm asking you, will it make you not go cast your vote?
I don't think they have a reason to get out the bed to go vote most of the time.
For some it will. Don't you know that politicians are not concerned about voter suppression unless they are losing? Well, you're supposed to go in there and let the voters go any way they want. If you're winning and if you are losing, you're supposed to say there's a lot of voter oppression going on.
Why did Caucasian people decide that they need to get in the air? Did they bomb Black Wall Street? Didn't they drop bombs on them?
Well, it's a lot of things
I'm trying to find out about Black Wall Street. Did they burn Black Wall Street?
Well, they bombed
set on fire.
One in Baltimore, bombed a community of black folks, and they bombed the Oklahoma, Greenwood, Oklahoma, when they burned that area down. It was known as the Black.
So what made black people come together way back then, Dr. Henderson, Mr. Williams?
We didn't have TV.
And decide that they wanted to come together, and we're gonna sell beans on this corner, we're gonna sell rice on this corner, we're gonna have our movie theater on this corner, we're gonna set our doctor's office up on this corner, and if you get sick, you're gonna go over there to the doctor.
Well,
now, in 2025, what other than the fact that none of us want to sacrifice, because that's what it comes down to, and all of us, or most of us, want to enjoy themselves.
Well, let me answer that.
I got one more comment. I got one more.
I got to answer this.
I guarantee. I was listening to elected official earlier, and he said after the election that he wanted to get together all of the elected officials and go on a retreat. Now, do either one of y'all agree that we need any elected official on a retreat to solve our problems when we're in the conditions we're in?
How about they retreat themselves over there to the Holiday Inn in a conference room and sit down and talk? You don't need to go nowhere.
How about you go down in South Jackson and get under one of them trees where you go get your votes?
You can get it.
Dr. Henderson, I'm done.
They can go sit down anywhere, but they don't need to go on a taxpayer-paid retreat to do nothing.
Okay.
You can get on a Zoom call. As much money as we need to fix streets and educate these children, if a politician lead a city and it's taxpayer funded, they need to arrest them. And I said that.
You're saying there are enough problems locally that they already have in their cabinets, and they black and
You don't need to go nowhere on no retreat to do nothing. They got Zoom now. Get on a Zoom call with whoever you need to talk to. Don't spend $10,000 so you can go to talk to somebody in California.
Go ahead, caller. Let's see what you were saying.
Yes, sir. How y'all doing today?
We're doing fine, sir.
Good, good.
All right, I got a comment for the guest.
Go ahead.
Playing that love music, it'll help, but you want to change the individual, change the town, or to change people, you got to get a born again, get Jesus in line.
Oh, yes? Okay.
And he'll put the true love in your heart.
Mr. Golden,
relationship with him.
Mr. Golden, let me ask you a question. What about work? What about teaching young African American men? Now, that's why when Mr. Williams started talking about the love part, I think we're in a society now where we got too many young men, especially, that's loving. What is wrong with work? Do you know personally anything about working? Do you know about working? I'm talking about physical work.
Yes, I do, Mr. Jones.
All right. Did you work offshore at a point in your life?
Yes, sir.
All right. Did it pay good money?
Yes, sir.
But you have to go stay what? 22 weeks?
Well, week, 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks, based on your schedule. Yeah, you have to go.
I got one more question, Ms. Golden. We getting ready to let you go. What was the crime rate on them oil rigs out there?
Well, it was 0% because you started trouble out there. They gonna put you on a boat to escort you back home.
Thank you for your call, Mr. Golden. Have a good day. Dr. Henderson?
Yes, sir.
Now, one thing y'all need to realize about the job situation when we're talking about these young kids, we're talking about the city of Jackson. I know you got some people who are hiring, but the city of Jackson, where they gonna work?
Hold on, caller. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, how you doing?
We're doing fine, sir.
I want to talk to you about this retreat. This is not a taxpayer-funded retreat. I have sponsors for this retreat, and the only purpose for this retreat is to let each official know what the responsibilities of each department is. In other words, what the aldermen, what the supervisors, everybody. So we can come and try to change what's happening in the county to grow this county. So this will not be a taxpayer-funded retreat. It'll be a 2-day thing where we'll have professional people come in from the from the Association of Supervisors and the City Association to guide us and to give us direction on how to build Hinds County.
Supervisor Smith. Supervisor Smith.
Yes.
All right. Look, I want to give you. I'm gonna forward you an address to a young lady's facility. All right.
Okay.
All right, and it's located on I-55 South. All right. It's a training facility. She trained CDL. She trained Safe Serve. She trained nursing assistant. What I want you to do is, I want you to go by there, and I know you will. Go by there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, go by there, and then you look at what she's doing down there. And if you come back on the air and you tell the listeners that that's not one of the greatest needs in Jackson, then I would apologize on air. Now, let me say this. Going on a retreat to discuss or have conversation or even to be trained, we got a lot of meetings. It was a supervisor meeting in this area a while back, and it was held out at the Sheraton Hotel over in Flowood. Nothing wrong with that. Mm-mm. But when we got 30 women that's homeless, taking showers at truck stop, when we got over 50 children that don't have housing, and Supervisor Smith, we can't convene a group of elected officials to have that conversation. And my closing comments is, when the state of Mississippi go into session with $1.2 billion surplus, we got an issue.
Yeah, I agree. Now,
okay.
That supervisor meeting that you referred to, it was 2 days in Jackson, and it was 3 days over there. And that's because they could not accommodate this is for all the supervisors in the whole state. There was like 500 and some people. We could accommodate them in South Jackson. We could take them to South Jackson.
But my thing is,
we can take them to South Jackson, Supervisor Smith, can't we?
Well, we can, but see, now you have to understand who sponsored that. That was not locally sponsored. Okay. That was from the national. So they do all we do is go there and see supervisors go get training on how to bring money to the city, how to take care of the constituents, and it's a very beneficial training. I mean, every time I go, I bring money back to the county on how we can get grants and how we can do these other programs.
All right, look.
Hold on now. Thank you, Colin.
I will go.
Thank you, Colin.
I want you to personally call me, and I will go to this place and look at it.
Okay.
Because we need to support our black businesses.
And we're going to start supporting it by since we can't find funding, Supervisor Smith, I'm putting up the first $100. So I'm looking for every black man that would know what this lady is trying to do for our community and willing to man up and at least put forward $100. Dr. Henderson, I'm out of here.
Thank you, Colin. Well, I want to tell you,
all right,
Mr. Supervisor, one thing that we have to understand, when you run for office, you should already have a job description, and they should know exactly what they're supposed to do. And I was told when I was in the military, when you have a job description, you get out and do it. And you don't have to ask anyone unless you don't understand what's going on, and you go to one person and get some direction, you go and do it, or you're going to be expelled. Just that simple.
Well, that's what everybody seems to be running on, is based on, I'm going to do different than the last person. I'm going to bring money into the city. I'm going to do this. But what are your plans? So when I actually had a chance to listen to the mayoral candidates talk, all I heard was the plans I put out in 2021.
Okay, let's see about this.
That's all I heard.
Let's see about this caller. Go ahead, caller.
Bean pads on Gallatin Street would be a nice place for a retreat.
It is. Sure
that young lady is doing a great job on Gallatin.
The Bean Barn.
Thank you so much. And what we're going to do is we're going to submit it to them for that. Thank you so much.
For real, Bean Barn.
We got another caller. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead. Yes.
I spoke with you. We have a conversation about, what the God called people. And I still kind of believe that he do. How did God call Moses to lead the people out of Egypt?
Well, he didn't call Moses to do that. Moses had a remedy for his uneasiness about the way his people were treated. Moses had the vision to get his people out of slavery. God had nothing to do with that.
And I'm feeling like Moses.
And Jesus wasn't even born.
Let
me finish this. And that's what people need to do today. You don't have to wait for no call. You see there is a problem, you go and address it. But now if you want to make the people feel good and say, well, I was told by the Lord to do it, that's all right. But basically, when we do something, sir, it's an inner desire that we have, that we want to change ourselves and others, and we do something about it. Others just sit around and criticize people about slavery, bad economic decisions being made by politicians that getting in office, making a lot of money, not doing anything. So the thing is, you have to get that vision and go and do something for yourself, your family, and your community, and that's what Moses did.
Can PCAP media train?
Of course they can.
Would you share with the supervisor the ability of PCAP media, since they're going on a retreat, to get the training?
Oh, he knows about that.
No, but see, Dr. Henderson, with your permission now, what I'd like to do is submit what PCAP media can train, the areas of training.
We don't want to do that right now.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
we don't want to do that right now.
You don't like contracting?
Well, I like contracting. The supervisor knows me well. I've been knowing him for 35 years.
I'm going to say it since you brought up contracting. It's
Go ahead.
something else I was thinking about. I keep hearing people talking about the mayor and the contractors and all that. I think we need to get rid of the contractors, bring back the city employees.
Say it again, Mr.
Bring back the city. I was about to curse. I forgot I'm on the radio.
No, don't do that.
Bring back the city employees. Get rid of the contractors, because every contractor has a kickback. And all we got right now is a gang of potholes. I don't want to hear about fixing potholes. I want to hear about paving streets.
So you saying if you had employees?
Yes, we would have.
And a pothole truck.
We would have streets paved. We need a paving team. We need our parks and recreation people back out here. We need our people who go out here and trim the hedges. I'm going down the street in my truck. It's 26-foot truck. I'm hitting limbs coming down the street because they hanging over the street. Shouldn't be the case. I'm dodging wires.
Wait a minute. See, I like to be realistic.
I'm realistic. Where are my city employees?
Let me tell you something. Politicians are not going to do that. That wouldn't be in their best interest to hire their own team. Let me finish now. They've got 30 seconds. To hire their own team and get things done properly, because their funders won't be happy. You have to go and get thousands of dollars from the people that have the businesses that will provide contracts to the city, service, and you have to give them the contract.
2 minutes, Jimmy. I got to get you a quick.
Aren't they supposed to do what the people want? See, I voted for you. I put you in office. You do what I want you to do.
Well, see, the politicians
what I want you to
Dr.
do.
Williams, let me tell you, they only know they're getting 25% of the vote. 75% don't vote, so they're not worried about it.
We got 4.
Okay, folks, we are going to get ready to surrender and give Dr. Williams a chance to give his contact information. And I have a few comments, and we're going to have to let you go for the next call.
Well, if you need to contact me, I'm at 601-488-0472. And like I told all the candidates who are running for mayor, since I only heard my plans being mentioned, you all have my permission to use those plans. If you want to give me a call, I can walk you through some of them, and you can hire me for the rest of them. There are a lot of plans. Some are posted online, some are not. But there is a redesign for the city. There is job creation for the city. Job creation. We have to start looking at Mississippi as a city. It's a city population. It just has a state's size. So when we're talking about a casino in Jackson, we're forgetting about our brothers and sisters in Vicksburg. We're forgetting about them. So when I heard that was off the table, it made sense to me, because we can create a corridor from Jackson to Vicksburg that is beautiful, full of jobs, and Vicksburg is like our resort area. So there's a lot of plans that I have that redesign how we think and move in this area, but it all sets up the future for those children. Like that caller said, I believe the children are the future. That's what my plans are for.
Well, tell the folks how they can see your plan in social media.
You can see them on Project Humanity, Uniting America. Now that's Project Humanity with HUE for all the colors of us, Manity. You can check it out on Facebook, Instagram, and on TikTok. We are Uniting America Project, Uniting America on Facebook, Instagram, or you can give me a call and I'll email them to you, uaphm@yahoo.com. Once again, Doc, this was something, you talking about God calling you. Well, God called me and gave me them plans.
You don't say.
Yes, God, because I'm not smart enough to have those plans. Like, I'm an intelligent person by my own standards, but I don't think I'm smart enough to have come up with those plans.
Okay, sir, we got the other man coming in. Mr. Henderson is ready to go. Thank you very much, and thank
you for the invite, Doc.
Thank you.
Man, go, man. I don't care who it is. I don't want nobody in other folks' baby.
They cutting you off 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That time flew by, dog. That time flew by.
Yeah, y'all need 2 hours. I get you set up for 2 hours.
I'm like, it looked like it,
All right,
cause
well, come on, the young man got